Imagine conquering your enemies, capturing their most sacred object, and bringing it home as a trophy, only to wake up the next morning and find your God face down on the floor. That's exactly what happened in the Bible. In 1 Samuel chapter 5, the Philistines had just defeated Israel in battle, and in their victory celebration, they captured something incredibly important: the Ark of the Covenant. Now, this was no ordinary chest. The Ark represented the very presence and authority of the God of Israel. So, naturally, the Philistines decided to do what victorious nations often did. They placed the Ark in the temple of their own god, Dagon. It was meant to be a powerful statement. Look, they were saying, our God has defeated your God. But the next morning, the people of Ashdod walked into the temple and saw something very strange. Dagon, their mighty statue, had fallen face down on the ground, right in front of the Ark. It was almost as if he was bowing. Now, maybe they thought it was just an accident. Perhaps a strong gust of wind, or maybe some poor temple architecture. So they picked Dagon up and set him back in his place. Problem solved, or so they thought. The next morning, they came back again. And this time, the situation had escalated dramatically. Dagon had fallen again, face down again. But now his head and both of his hands were broken off and lying on the threshold of the temple. Only the main body of the statue remained. In other words, their God didn't just fall this time. He completely fell apart. This is one of the most ironic and powerful moments in the entire Bible. The Philistines thought they had captured the God of Israel, but instead, the presence of God had just walked into their temple, and their own idol couldn't even manage to stay standing in his presence. The lesson here is timeless and still applies to us today. Anything we elevate above God in our own lives, whether it's power, money, status, politics, or success, will eventually fall. Because all idols, ancient or modern, ultimately collapse when they are confronted with the reality of the one true, God. So the next time someone tries to tell you that faith is for the weak, just remember the story of Dagon, a so-called god that had to be picked up off the floor by its own worshippers. And a God so powerful, he didn't even need his people present to make his point clear. If you enjoy discovering the deeper meaning behind scripture like this, make sure to subscribe to Daily Bread for more biblical insights. Thanks for watching, and may each day be a blessed day.